Well, Shanna, you've got quite an array. You know, usually this table is filled with beautiful flowers and plants, but today we've got it filled with plants with challenges and even little critters crawling about. So tell me about what you have here.
Well, we want to talk about natural pesticides. At our farm, we do a lot of things with just growing pesticide free. So you have different plants that might experience a lot of damage from caterpillars, and we also have a plant here that really got eaten up pretty well by some caterpillars. So what we want to do is we want to create some pesticide-free solutions that we find around our home.
Oh, interesting.
Yeah, so instead of thinking about, oh, can I eat or taste these things? You know what? I want people to come to my farm, be able to pinch off, taste, eat some lettuce, and not be concerned or worry about pests.
Exactly.
Or any chemicals.
Any chemicals. Well, we've got our caterpillar friend there, and we've got eggs and all sorts of examples here of plants in distress. So, you know, here we've got a problem with a beet leaf. Is there a natural remedy for, you know, with this beautiful, beautiful, healthy leaf versus an infected leaf?
Yes, so really when we have different funguses that start to attack our plants, we can develop certain types of solutions to try to dry out that fungus, and or you can also just remove that disease section right there. So one of the things that I would actually create would be, let me move that over there, I would create a simple solution. So, say for instance we got our caterpillar right there that's starting to eat on some of our plants.
Yes,
I would take some flour, all-purpose flour, and I'll also take some baking soda. And I'll mix those two together, half and half of the same solution, and inside a little container, such as this. And then what I'll do is I'll just find that and just flake on just a little bit of that solution on there, and dust it all over my plants. And what happens is that caterpillar will start to dry up.
Okay, so you kind of desiccate, you draw the water out of the caterpillar with the solution. All natural remedies, just flour and baking soda.
Definitely. And then when we talk about this type of plant, and you see some of the leaf damage here,
we'll use,
yes, on this beet leaf. I want all of my leaves to look like this, healthy.
Beautiful, green, healthy.
Definitely. Yes. So when I see a leaf like this, I'll either think I have to remove you, but what can I do to make sure that this leaf won't look like this one? Exactly. So I'll create different types of solutions.
Alrighty.
And some of those solutions, I'm going to move our little friend away right
Let's
here.
Move our poor little friend over here away.
So we can make solutions using our baking soda that'll help dry out some things. We also have some regular cooking oil.
Okay.
We got some dish detergent, and then we also have hydrogen peroxide solutions.
Oh, wow.
All these things we typically just find around the house.
Right in my cabinet.
Exactly. So what I like to do is I'll create some different solutions just by simply taking a gallon of water. Put a gallon of water together, and we'll use some simple. You don't have to get fancy. This is a tablespoon. You know what? This is a tablespoon, whichever one you prefer.
Pick what you got.
Exactly. But what I can also simply do is this. Let me put that right there. This is me making my fast solution because I've made it enough times.
Okay.
And so what I will do is I'll take a tablespoon or 2 tablespoons of dish detergent here, and then I'll just squeeze some of that. Yes, that is my own estimate.
There you go, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5.
There you go. And then what I'll do is I'll take a tablespoon of baking soda.
Okay.
So try to get some of this in here. You know what? Let's not get fancy because that opening is small.
Okay.
Let's go to something a little bit smaller.
Right.
And I'll just put that in there. And this, make sure this solution dissolves.
Right.
And then after that, once again, I'll use my hydrogen peroxide. And what this does, it also helps to add oxygen, but it'll kill a lot of those soft little plants or tomato flea flies and things like that.
Through oxidation.
Exactly.
Yes.
And it'll start to dissolve them almost immediately, but it'll help keep my plants healthy.
Right.
So once again, perfectly you can measure that out, but
can see that.
I'm measuring. This is my measurements. So what I'll do is I'll put about 8 to 10 tablespoons inside in that solution, and I'll just shake it up really good. Make sure everything is dissolved.
Yeah. Make sure that cap is on.
Yeah, definitely. We don't want to spill that everywhere. And then I'll just do a nice little shaking, especially making sure that the baking soda has been dissolved in it. And then this large container, I'll just move that out of our way. I'll put it, if I have a small garden or a small spot, I'll use some simple things like this. Or what I'll do is, to save myself some time, I'll use some of these over-the-counter press.
Simple sprayers.
Simple
Yeah.
sprayers, exactly. And if it's a larger area, I'll have an even larger container that I'll use.
More of a larger pump action.
Exactly. And most often when you walk through your garden, you're always investigating different things. You're turning your plants over. And if you notice, you have a lot of larvae here.
Yes.
And then I have other things as I'm constantly growing things and allowing my plants to go to seed.
Yes.
I often see that, wait a minute, I'm turning over leaves. Oh, I got a lot of leaf damage there.
Yeah, and I don't think people can see the eggs right through
Oh
there.
yeah, if you look a little closer, you see a lot of eggs. And this plant, basically, it started to die a little bit. So I want to make sure that I can still eat that and make it healthy. So I'll just take some of this spray solution. Oh, should help.
Open it up first.
It definitely helps. I'll just spray that all over my plants. But please remember, it is so important to test it on one leaf first. And then wait to find out and to see how your plant responds.
That's phytotoxicity, to see how the sun is going to affect the solution that you've made.
Definitely.
Yes.
And then once it works out and you see that, hey, this is working for me, next thing you'll simply do is you'll soak down the whole plant.
Right.
Because you want to be able to see these types of plants here. And yeah, you have wonderful strawberries growing, but I also have some spot damage there. So I want to give that plant a good soaking.
Yes.
Because I want that plant to be healthy and to have no damage.
Nice, green, healthy, beautiful leaves.
Exactly. I want nice, green, healthy, beautiful leaves out of all of my plants.
I was going to say, you know, even on the tomato plants we've got here, let me bring it on over. You know, these plants are got a lot of hairs on them and such, but you've got the healthy ones versus a non-healthy. So are you spraying the bottom leaves from the bottom, you know, or on the top surface?
As I start to walk around and I'll start to look at my tomato plants and I'll say, wait a minute, there's some damage here. I'll remove some of that damage, and what I'll simply do is start to spray. And a lot of times this one has a different type of spray, but you know what? They try to get one that has a nice mist, and I'll just keep on spraying all of the stems all over my plants.
Trying to capture everything.
Yes, and often we have to also look under our plants as well. Look under those leaves.
Yes.
And when you see different bugs or tomato beetles and things like that start to make little holes and diseases in your plants, spray them.
I think that's great. Well, Shanna, this has been wonderful information, and I thank you so much for being on to show us that there's some things in our house that we can make remedies with, but important thing is to keep a vigilant eye, but also to test what you're using first.
Definitely. Always want to test it.
Well, thank you. Thank you for coming.
Thank you for having me. It's been a pleasure.